Good morning, my neighbors!
Starting the coffee with the chopsticks of truth using the vortex method, the only true way to optimize the taste of your coffee at the molecular level. Good morning. Welcome to the Daybreak Show. I am the Sultan. We'll get started, but first, coffee. Nice. Bustelo.
Picked them up from the printers yesterday.
Good coloring.
That's bone.
You ever know anybody who's a human wrecking ball? It's like they're just always destroying. Every move is just a move of destruction. Every word out of their mouth, every tweet, everything they say, every video they make. You know, what you see on the outside only reveals what is on the inside. And they consider that an accomplishment. Lonely shitlords at best. But don't be fooled. They have their grift as well. Calling everyone a grifter and a fraud, guess what? Is a grift. So you let a 5-minute incident, encounter, or a phone call ruin your 24-hour day? Bad move. Remember this too, if you're thinking of starting a business or being an entrepreneur, you can't sell anything to broke people. That's why you need to qualify people to make sure that they can buy. It is not a skill trying to get a broke person to take a loan out or beg, borrow, and steal to purchase your product or service. Market, sell, and appeal to people who have the money to buy what you sell. You can't sell a thing to broke people, and don't forget that. I know a dude that walks 5 miles a day with his dog. He gets up, has a cup of tea, doesn't have breakfast yet. He walks 5 miles a day with his dog, comes back home, he writes a 10-minute email newsletter, sends it out to thousands of people. In it is always a pitch for a paid product. You know he's selling something, but you also enjoy his writing. He buys a house on a beach, lives a quiet life, publishes new material regularly, and is a very fun guest on podcasts that he's appearing on weekly. And he claims to have no stress because he created his life by design, not by default. Life by design. You create your lifestyle. You're not doing what you're doing because you have to. You're doing what you're doing because you created that. You created that lifestyle. You created the parameters in which you live. What a beautiful way to live. We're going to talk more about that in the future. The best writers are also avid readers. They have that stack of what I'm reading now books on their nightstand or their coffee table or side table. The best writers are always the best readers. That is a fact. Fit money. Fit money. Assuming you have humility, service, and you're a child of God, fit money is a great place to be. You have that sweet early morning routine. You write things down. You accomplish the things that you write down. You commit everything to paper. You always have an iron in the fire. Your friends say to you, so what's your latest project? What are you working on now? You're fit, healthy. You're making money. You have cash flow, fit money. You're creating learning products. Your accounts are growing daily. There's active, positive cash flow, which means there's more money coming in than there is going out. And you have that visually nice studio in your home. You have fit money. The fit money lifestyle. Do you have a fit money lifestyle? So while you're spending all your time reading Think and Grow Rich for the 10th time, and the 4-Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss, and some latest book by a Navy SEAL, and you're giving advice to everyone around you. Some 17-year-old kid just made 7 figures today. Today, I was at a Fleming's Steakhouse waiting for my car after dinner, and 2 Lamborghinis pull up. True story. They pull up to the valet. A father is in one, a son is in the other. They come every week for a tomahawk steak. And they're known by everyone by name. The boy, who's 18 years old, makes his money online. Bitcoin, Shopify, and outsourcing virtual assistant services. Bought his dad and himself Lamborghinis. The dad retired because of his son. He assists the boy. Both parents are on the boy's payroll. But Tuesday night is father and son steak night. How cool is that? Father and son steak night. I would love to do that with my boys. Father and son steak night. Even if we did it once a month, that would be cool. Father and son steak night. Does that sound appealing to you at all? For you guys that have children of any age, grown children on down to late teens, a father and son steak night? I know with my daughter it would be father and daughter chicken fingers night. But the boys, father and son steak night. I know a guy that recently said, out of all my accomplishments, my wife not needing a job is the one I'm most proud of. I like that. But I'll tell you what, I know she works hard on that homestead for her family, not just for the man at a cube farm. Many people who end up working at home end up working harder and longer for themselves than they do for a boss at a company. That's a fact. You are a brand. You are a brand. And everything that you do is for your brand. Think about this. Even the people you associate with affect your brand. Therefore, work and or associate only with those who elevate your brand, the brand of you. That was a big thing several years ago, the brand of you. I forget who wrote that book. Anyone here ever remember Cornerstone TV? I believe it was out of Pittsburgh. There was a show called Light Music, a show called His Place. There was Tom and Rose. Back in the 90s, I remember all these fun personalities. I used to get it on some obscure station in Philly late on Sunday night, like at 11 p.m. on Sunday nights. And I used to love that. This is back in the 90s. If you remember Cornerstone TV, let me know. Rich Mullins. I've been talking about Rich Mullins recently. Rich Mullins was a MGTOW fellow, but not always. He had a girlfriend for 10 years, and they were on their way to the altar. They were going to get married. She breaks off the engagement. Then, heartbroken, he goes his own way, and then eventually accepts it. His music reflected how he felt he didn't fit in to the Christian music scene. Those of you that know Rich Mullins passed away in 1997 in an accident. He felt like he didn't fit in his own family. I think his father said something like, I have a son, a daughter, and a pianist. And that was Rich. The people that knew him said he was kind of weird. He wrote all kinds of great songs. Amy Grant sang many of his songs. Articles have been written. One guy was thinking that he might have been gay. People speculating on his sexuality. But he composed like a monastic. It's no wonder he identified with St. Francis. No doubt he had his struggles if you read between the lines. Any guy that's had his heart smashed ends up hanging out with other guys excessively just to feel freaking normal. So whether or not the door swang in that direction, I don't know. Some people try to connect those dots, but it's not real clear. No doubt he had his struggles, yes. One of his friends responded like this upon hearing about his death. Said, "What a relief." Imagine that. As in, he was finally released from this world and is where he longed to be and often wrote about. In one of his songs, "So if I stand, let me stand on the promise that you will pull me through. And if I can't, let me fall on the grace that first brought me to you. And if I sing, let me sing for the joy that has born in me these songs. And if I weep, let it be as a man who is longing for his home." Wow. He wanted to be with the Lord. He felt uncomfortable in his own skin. He really did. He was just, some people, there were actually record executives that said, he's a weirdo. He writes good music, but he's a weirdo. I understand that. I understand that. He never profited from his music. You know his music. You've sang his music. But he never profited from it. He literally took a average salary and gave the rest to a educating Navajo people on a Navajo reservation. It's quite amazing. He's riding with Mitch McVicker, who I know, in a Jeep in 1997. The Jeep overturns. Both are thrown out of the Jeep. They weren't wearing seatbelts. They were both thrown on the road. A tractor trailer driving behind them runs over Rich Mullins, kills him instantly. Mitch ends up surviving this, and he carries on the legacy of Rich Mullins in his music. Also a prolific songwriter. If you're not a fan of Mitch McVicker, check him out. Check him out. And there's a loyalty that's deeper than mere sentiments and a music higher than the songs, that I can sing the stuff of earth competes for the allegiance I owe only to the giver of all good things. And if I weep, let it be as a man who is longing for his home. Can you imagine one of his friends saying, "What a relief"? In other words, he finally made it home. He longed to be with the Lord. And it happened in a tragic accident. Wow. Rich Mullins has been dead for 25 years now. He wrote an album. I like all his music, but there was an album that he did called A Liturgy and a Legacy. And I'm going to be listening to that. But wow, what a... there's three things that people are going to say as they're looking at you in your casket. It's either going to be, "What a shame," "What a shock," or "What a life." And for Rich Mullins, it was, what a life. What a life. I put on boxing gloves often growing up. Fought with all my friends and brothers in basements and backyards. Men buy 2 sets of boxing gloves. I've never understood people who only buy 1 pair of boxing gloves. Buy 2 for your boys, 2 pairs. That way they are going to be... excuse me. Sorry about that. That way they and their friends are going to learn to duke it out. You learn a lot with backyard or basement boxing. It's a man thing. Wives are going to be very protective. Moms, I can't believe you're going to create violent boys. This is where you just quietly need to just love your wife. Just love her. Disagree with her, love her, go out and buy 2 pairs of boxing gloves. Big, thick gloves. You don't have to buy the lighter ones. But you know what? That's not a bad thing. Buying boxing gloves for your boys. 2 pairs. Thank me later. That's one thing my father did. My dad created, I don't want to say fighters, but he created boys that have zero fear. And I'm kind of happy about that. Like, there's not a hell of a lot that I fear in this world, even at my age. And that started when I was young. Thank God for a dad who taught us how to fight, who taught us how to take care of ourselves, who taught us how not to be a victim. It's a beautiful thing. And that does spill over. You have heard me talk about the spillover effect. Doing one more rep spills over into every area of your life. Putting on boxing gloves and getting the crap kicked out of you can also teach you something about life. I'm not talking about getting into a brawl somewhere. I'm talking about a controlled situation. The backyard or basement boxing teaches you a lot about yourself. You ever say to anybody, "How are you doing?" And they go, "I'm doing," or they say something like, "Living the dream." My first response is, anyone who replies, "living the dream," isn't living the dream. Every time that you doubt that you can do something better, lose weight, be that desirable, sexy beast for your mate, have more cash flow, etc., your brain is lying to you. Every time that you doubt anything, your brain is lying to you. You have to defeat the liar inside of you. Ignore him. Suppress him. Everybody has a liar inside of them that says you can't. Don't do it. Don't try. Your brain is lying to you. Hi, Betsy. How's Daddy's little girl? That's my little girl over there. Norristown, Pennsylvania, on any given morning, if you drive through the area, you're going to see all the students at the bus stops every morning with masks on. They still have masks on their face. I blame the parents. Oops, I mean the parent. Read between the lines on that. Well, this is the kind of shit that we had to endure for 2 years. People on the taxpayers' payroll in Montgomery County, Pennsylvania, and of course everywhere else, writing this shit. Safe sex and COVID-19. Be cautious in using these tests to make decisions about who you have sex with and what kind of sex you will have, since antibody test results are not definite proof of immunity. Kissing can easily pass the virus. Avoid kissing anyone who is not part of your small circle of close contacts. Rimming, mouth on anus, might spread the virus. Virus in fecal matter may enter your mouth and could lead to infection. Somebody got paid to write this. Make it a little kinky. Be creative with sexual positions and physical barriers like walls that allow sexual contact while preventing close face-to-face contact. What? Okay, Beavis. Masturbate together using physical distance and face coverings to reduce the risk. Condoms and dental dams can reduce contact with saliva, semen, or feces during oral or anal sex. Click here to find out how to get free, safe sex products. Washing up before and after sex is more important than ever. Wash your hands with soap and water for 20 seconds. Wash your sex toys with soap and warm water. Disinfect keyboards and touch screens that you share with others. Wear a face covering or a mask. Maybe it's your thing, maybe it's not, but during COVID, wear a face covering that covers your nose and mouth is a good way to add a layer of protection during sex. Heavy breathing and panting can spread the virus further, and if you or your partner have it and don't know it, a mask can help stop the spread. No rimming, though. No rimming. Holy shit. This is an actual county government document. We the people. It's the government. For the people, by the people. Holy crap. Ever see a magician get somebody from the audience and get them to do things they normally wouldn't do? You've seen that, right? Well, guess what? That's exactly what your government is doing to you right now and has done to you for 2 years. And guess what? 90% of you failed the test. You rolled over when they said roll over. You gave them your paw when they said give me paw. Roll over, give me paw, put on a mask, get a shot, a second one, a third one, and now a fourth one, bitches. And now our carefully selected news stories meant to manipulate you. Back to you, Jim. It's your typical news broadcast. Men, just remember this. Every woman has a little Marilyn in her. Your job is just to figure out if it's Monroe or Manson. Men are usually masters at a couple things. Think about this. I've been saying this for probably 20 years. First is complicating the hell out of their life. And secondly, trying to justify why they did it. Complicate, justify, and the circle is created. And the cycle just keeps going and going. Complicate, justify. Where have you complicated your life? And then justify why you did it. How do you break the cycle of complicate, justify? Complicate, take responsibility. Complicate, take responsibility. But somewhere between responsibility and complicating again has to be a change in your mind and behavior. So let's break that cycle. Complicate, responsibility, behavior change. And hopefully the first time you make the mistake, you don't do it again by justifying it. You let yourself off the hook when you justify shit. Just a quick reminder, if you are living a life where you're stuck and you need coaching, shoot me an email. I did it professionally for decades. That's what my credentials are in. Now I don't do it in the psychiatric world. I do it in the world of business, career, and life in general. And let's make some money together. Do you have an idea that you want to bring a product or a service out? You want to talk to me confidentially about it? Shoot me an email and we'll talk about it. I will tell you if I'm interested or not. And with that, finish your coffee and I'll see you on the next Daybreak Show, your home of sanity, clarity, and reason.